So a few weeks ago, I had to end things with somebody that I was dating because he spent the night one night and then the next morning he used my bathroom, didn't flush the toilet, and left pee all over the seat, and then proceeded to lay in my bed and chill on his phone while I was in the kitchen cooking him breakfast. And then after he ate breakfast, he didn't even offer to help clean up and just left everything out on the counter. And until this happened, there really weren't any major red flags that I had noticed until I started reflecting on little things that were bothering me here and there of things that he was doing on our other dates. Because these weren't like outwardly huge red flags to the point where I was just gonna stop talking to him. But now that I have all of this information and I'm putting all the pieces together, I'm like, okay, that's why all of these things were bothering me. So on our fourth date, we went bowling and we had to wait for our lane to be ready, and there was a bar in that same place, so we just decided to go sit at the bar. And he was like, are you gonna drink tonight? And anyone that knows me knows that I don't drink, but every once in a while I'll have something. So I was just like, you know what, sure, tonight I'll have a drink. He then tells me that he forgot his wallet at home that has his license in it, and he's gonna show his license on his phone to the bartender if like she tries to card us. And I looked at him and I was like, that's not gonna work. They're gonna require a physical copy of your license for this to work. So of course the lady cards us. He tries showing his ID on his phone and she's like, yeah, that's not gonna work. We're gonna need your actual license. And he didn't outwardly say anything, but I could tell that he was like fuming on the inside, which again, I feel like anyone knows in 2025 that typically you can't get away with showing your ID on your phone. So neither of us get a drink and we go over because there's a pool section right there and we start playing pool. A few minutes into playing, he is like, hey, I have an idea. What if you go to the bar and you order your drink, wait a few minutes, and then go up and order my drink? And I was like, that's not gonna work because they're totally gonna catch on to the fact that I'm ordering a drink for both you and me. But I agreed to it anyway because I was like, whatever. He made a comment about how he typically would never make me pay for my own drink, but because he left his wallet at home, that's unfortunately what had to be done. Mind you, this man has Apple Pay, and I'm guessing he probably had Venmo too. This kind of rubbed me the wrong way though, because I feel like because he made that comment about never making me pay for my own drink, he should have taken out his phone then and there and been like, hey, what's your Venmo? I'll pay you for the drink right now. But he didn't do that. So whatever, I go and get my drink. It was only $11. And while I'm getting my drink, our lane is ready. So he leaves to go get that set up. When we get to the lane, he puts in the wrong name for me in our game. Instead of Alexa, he wrote Alexis. Mind you, he had never called me Alexis once up until that point. And I called him out and I was like, you know, that's not my name, right? He was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Like he was acting so like embarrassed. But I was like, this is weird because you've never once called me the wrong name. Then we start playing, and as we're playing, servers will come up to us and ask us like, hey, do you guys want anything to eat or drink? So naturally, he finally gets to order his drink and they don't card him. And this made me furious because I was like, first of all, why were you not able to wait like 15 or 20 minutes while we were waiting for our lane to be ready to get your precious alcohol? But instead you had to create this elaborate plan for me to go up there and buy my own drink and then go up and buy yours too, when in the end they were just going to be serving us alcohol anyway and not even be carding us for it. Also, we're bowling. Why do you need to drink alcohol? Like, why is that so important to you on a bowling date? So I was just super frustrated at that point. And typically, this is not something I would bring up, but because this situation is over and I'm just so disgusted by this man, the final thing that made my ick go over the edge was how bad this man was at bowling. I'm not good at bowling. Like, I'm lucky sometimes if I can even break 100. This man was getting gutter balls like every single shot. In fact, I have never seen such horrific bowling form in my life. He like took the ball and had his arm bent and he was throwing the ball with the same leg. And here I was afraid that I was going to give him the ick playing bowling. Again, I'm not here to shame anyone's lack of athletic abilities because like I'm not super athletic and I'm typically not the best at these sorts of things. But if you're so bad to the point where I'm like breaking 100 and you maybe have 50 points, if that, like, oh my God. And again, like I said, typically this isn't something that would be considered like a huge ick for me, but because he did so many other things up to that point that had already made me so annoyed and given me the ick, it was just like the final straw. But yeah, I still have more things that this man did that were very subtle over the dates that we went on. But now that I pieced it all together, it all makes sense.